Did he say? I think he said we're live.
We live?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I'd like to welcome you to this special call meeting of the Garrard County Board of Education. And at this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please note that 4 board members are present and the superintendent is present. And so at this time, as the meeting is called to order, if you would join me for a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Now, if you stand and join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. You may be seated. And item C is to adopt the agenda. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Dr. Lamb made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hurt seconded. All in favor, let me know by looking hand. All 4 board members were for that. Item 2 is to approve local planning committee's district facilities plan. Mr. Stoll.
I'll hand this over.
Dr. Stoll. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're good. I'll hand this over to Brad Beatty, who has helped lead us through this process.
Thank you. You should have before you a copy of the facility plan the LPC is submitting to you tonight for consideration. In that plan, worked with them over the last 3 weeks to develop a assessment of the needs for the buildings across your district, and then to set the priority or that kind of next step that the LPC believes would be a benefit to the district to pursue. So looking at that plan in front of you, as it compares to previous plans, the priority 1 item that the district or the LPC has put before you for consideration is a major renovation of program areas not previously renovated to include the public restrooms at the front of the building that serves the auditorium, gymnasium, and cafeteria. That was the consensus of the LPC to put that before you as priority 1. All other items were listed under priority 2, 3, 4, 5. That gives the board the most flexibility moving forward to select and achieve, to select projects as you as a board feel they need to be addressed within your community. It doesn't put a priority beyond that restroom project on any of these other projects, or even though they're numbered and listed 1 through 6, and it's simply by school. That is not a ranking of priority. I want y'all to understand that. On this plan, under the 2C category, we've refined what we feel can be constructed at the high school. That includes an auditorium theater, physical education, and your local identified program space. It's identified as a lecture classroom for like 90 students who have taught in a single room. It was part of the original gym project, so we moved that into a piece of your DFP as an identified need. Previously in your DFP, you had multiple additional classrooms to be constructed at the high school. Because the growth ratio has been modified over the last 8 years, there's no longer an immediate need for those. It doesn't mean in the future, if Garrard County began to grow and had showed a need for those additional classrooms, those could be added on at any time. But for this plan, we removed some of those elements. We also removed all the athletic projects currently under construction. Beyond that, we're showing the Area Technology Center for renovation, major renovations at all the buildings, middle school, all 3 elementary schools. And then towards the back of the document, renovation at the Garrard Education Center, this building, the central office building, and new construction for a bus garage facility. All in, we're showing a district need of $85,176,885 as compared to a district need from 8 years ago of $42,742,287. Do you have to answer any questions?
Thank you, sir. First of all, I have a motion.
And that motion. That we accept this.
And Mr. Hurd made the motion, and thank you, sir, for serving on that facilities planning committee. Do I have a second? All right, now, do you have any questions? Dr. Stoll, I'm assuming you're recommending this.
My recommendation would be you approve the facilities plan that has been suggested.
Thanks,
It's
sir.
hard to believe these, what we consider new buildings are 30 years old. The 3 elementary schools, you know, doesn't seem like it's 30 years that have been in existence.
Thank you, Brad, for all your help too.
Yes.
All right, if there's no questions, all in favor, let me know by lifting hand. 4 board members approved. Item 2 is approved. Item 3 is to approve advertising for public hearing regarding the district facilities plan that we just adopted, Dr. Stoll.
So one of the things that we have to do now is to follow up with KDE and share with them your approval of this plan tonight. The next step is to give the public an opportunity to respond at the public hearing. We have a special board meeting that will be called on June the 1st. So 30 minutes prior to that, we would like to conduct that public hearing regarding the facilities plan. There is an advertisement in front of you so that you see how that would run. And just in all candor, we started the run today to make sure that we would have the 2 weeks, actually last night, to make sure that we had the 2 weeks. I did contact Brother Jerry and ask him if that was an okay thing to do. But we felt like that was the appropriate thing to do if we were going to move forward, and we wanted to do that as quickly as possible. So it's my recommendation that you approve the advertising for the public hearing regarding the district facility plan.
Thank you, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the hearing.
Dr. Lamb made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hart seconded. All in favor, let it be known by lifting hand. 4 board members present were in favor. Item 3 is approved. Item 4 is to approve a hearing officer for public hearing, Dr. Stoll.
So we're required to have a hearing officer who serves in that capacity. I asked Mr. Gresham to lead a lot of this work. So he organized the committee and did a lot of the legwork with this, and then worked in conjunction with Brad to make sure that all of our folks were available at that time. So I would recommend to you that you appoint Caleb Gresham as the hearing officer for the facilities plan public hearing.
Thank you, Dr. Stoll. You heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Dr. Lamb made the motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
Ms. Davis seconded. All in favor, let it be known by lifting hand. Mr. Gresham, Dr. Gresham is approved. Item 5 is to approve a contract with Apple Corporation.
This is not related to what you've been doing. Thought it'd be nice to close with something a little different. But we're now required to make sure that we have a contract in place that is approved by Apple for us to do business with them, to make any purchases. We were provided 2 possible solutions. We sent both of those to our board attorney. He approved both of those. So Chris has moved forward with the contract that he thinks is the most beneficial to us. So it'd be my recommendation that you approve this contract so that Garrett County can function in capacity with Apple.
Thank you, Dr. Stoll. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the contract with Apple.
Okay. Davis made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Dr. Lamb seconded. All in favor, let it be known by lifting hand. All 4 board members present were in favor. Item 5 is approved, which brings us to item 6.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Dr. Lamb seconded. All in favor? All board members in favor, we're adjourned. Thank you all. Appreciate your patience.